Sorry about that, but we're back again, and we're finishing up with the oatmeal. I love the combination.
Oh, the raw oats.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So we call it Tutti Frutti, and it's in our book also.
It's in the book too. Awesome.
It's in the book, and I don't know how much here, but I'm going to start over again. You take plain yogurt, and you put in as much raw rolled oats. So this isn't cooked. This is raw, and you stick it into the plain yogurt, and then you chop up bananas and apples. You can put pears. You can put blueberries. You can do nuts and things for a topping, and that's what the kids. I must make a trough of it. And the kids come in and they love it. When they first try it, it's like, whoa, like yogurt, where's the sugar? But it changes their
fruit
palate.
has a good amount of sugar and sweetness.
Gosh. And then the education, I cannot stress enough. Without education and explaining to them what's happening in their bodies and why you need to do this, and even the kids that you think, oh, they're not listening, they're all listening. Because I have not met a child that doesn't want to do that. I have not met one child in any of these classrooms that says, hey, I want to go to continuation school and be in a gang. What they're looking for is for you to tell them how they cannot go there. Give me this much hope on how I can do it better, or what I can do to be empowered to be a better person. They all. So I tell them, if you just change your food, everything will change. Everything, trust me, it'll change. And then you have to be an adult that shows up all the time because they need that too. So many of our kids with high divorce rates and such, they're not used to people showing up, and they're used to things changing all the time. So be consistent. Be consistent in their life. Give them a good meal. Take the time to teach them to cook. They're amazing. Kids are amazing.
I bet you can attest to having regular meals and being present in a child's life in terms of making a big difference.
Yeah, I really think that we often underestimate, and it takes a little bit of planning, because these days everybody has different after-school activities, and sometimes it's hard to actually find the time to come together. But when you make that a routine, it is something concrete that the children can hold on to. They know that most nights of the week we will sit down at some point and eat together. And maybe it's not even in the evening, maybe it's breakfast that you do together every day, or maybe it's every second day. But whatever you can do, again, the best you can do with the resources that are available, I think that time to connect is so healthy on so many levels.
And I work mainly with individuals, and I can say sitting down on your own, time to connect with yourself and to connect with your food is also very important and special, a good thing to do in one's life in terms of value. So for Maya, how do we find your online course on child nutrition?
So if you go to Google and you type in Coursera Child Nutrition, it's the only one that'll come up. And it is a course that's intended for everybody. It's really simple. We actually have a new massive open online course coming out in a couple of months, and it's going to be called Food and Health, also on Coursera. So that one's not focused on children. But because I believe that children should be eating the same thing as their parents, essentially, the food that we talk about in the children's nutrition course is very much what adults can eat as well and can enjoy. So it's family food.
That's wonderful. Absolutely. For both of you, any ideas of something that meat eaters and vegetarians can do together in a household?
Well, when I cook everything separate. So I'll have the potatoes or the rice, and then I'll have the vegetable, and then I'll have the beans, and I'll have whatever the meat. Because in my classroom at my school, there's 22 languages spoken there. So we have kids that are, vegan and that are Muslim and, have different eating. And we try to keep everything separate and let the kids put it together. But they know that they know their own tastes and what they want. So just keep it separate. Don't stick everything together. Keep it separate, and then you can put other meals from it together. The next morning you can make an omelet for breakfast. And, when one of the things was the yogurt and that. But if you keep corn tortillas or brown rice or potato, stick it all together in the morning with eggs and then stick whatever vegetables are in there. And I tell the kids, add spinach to everything. Add spinach. Add
greens.
Yeah, add those greens.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about cooking for vegetarians, but I do know a lot about cooking for children with allergies, because it seems that in our children's classes, there are at least 3 or 4 different allergies So we often have birthday parties where we need an egg-free, gluten-free, nut-free dessert. And
It's called
really-
fruit.
Okay. I mean, it's a challenge sometimes to try and figure that out, but often we end up taking strawberries and dipping them in dark chocolate and letting them dry. And that is a dessert for a birthday treat that is egg-free, gluten-free. That's been a lifesaver.
Well, what my kids did for me is they took a watermelon and they peeled it and cut the top and the bottom off, and then they put berries and they frosted it with Greek yogurt. And there is a birthday cake. In fact, my birthday is next week, and they're building me a birthday cake out of fruit. So be creative, and this is where the kids can get involved. You know, star fruit and kiwis and berries and nuts, and you just make a big tray with all of these fruits, and then you just layer it up with cantaloupe, pineapple, and whatever, and make your birthday cake. I would love to see people having birthday celebrations and cakes with real sugar, the way that fructose, the way that you should be eating it, with all of the fiber, and then you know what? Knock yourself out. And you can still put the candles there. 60 candles, I said, just get a 6-0. Don't do all those candles. So we'll light this thing on fire.
Okay, so the last question for today is, what's your go-to in a hurry real food meal? Something you probably make a lot.
So I don't have a single meal that I make all the time, just because I have 3 children who will tell me, you made that last week, I don't want that again. But I'll tell you an inside story. I recently sat with Michael Pollan, and he told me what his go-to in a hurry meal is, so I can tell you that. So he said he keeps spinach frozen in the freezer, and he comes home and he opens up a can of canned salmon, and he'll boil some whole wheat pasta, and he'll just saute the spinach with a bit of lemon and garlic, a little bit of olive oil, mix it together with the salmon and the whole wheat pasta, and he says it makes a great meal. That's his go-to meal.
There you go.
Okay, my go-to meal,
Mhm.
my husband's probably laughing. I'll take either a piece of salmon or chicken or tofu, and I put a little Montreal cracked pepper, that seasoning, and I'll put it into a pan, and I'll just, as I'm grilling, whether it's the chicken, the fish, or the tofu, I've taken a Japanese sweet potato, the ones that are white on the inside. It's my favorite. I scrub it, I poke holes in it, I wrap it in a paper towel, put it in the microwave, and then I will cook up Brussels. I love Brussels sprouts or zucchini or broccoli. I steam that. In 10 minutes, it's done, and that's my meal. And then I'll do, of course, a salad, and I always have a pear with a piece of fruit with that. So that's my go-to, is Japanese sweet potatoes. They are fantastic, and you don't need to put anything on. No butter, no cinnamon, nothing. They're just fantastic.
Right? Yams or sweet potatoes or something I try to have in the house on a regular basis.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
are so fast.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're so fast and so good for you.
So it's time to close. We have 5 minutes left, and we're very appreciative for you to have been here and also to have stayed with us throughout the ups and downs of our internet connection. But in closing, we'd like to invite you to join the 10-day Clean Eating Challenge. And if you've already joined, congratulations. We hope this program will support you and inspire you to excel for the whole 10 days. We're going to have another program on Monday, and we're going to be talking to some other guests about how you can eat clean when you're eating out. So I hope you join us then. The website links will be posted for the challenge at responsibleFoods.org/keepingitreal. So if you want to review the video, go ahead over there and check it out. Thanks for coming, and we hope to see you next time.
Thank you.
And keep it real.
Keep it real.
Keep it real.
That's right.